Together Authentic Minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the gift of gratitude. Service from the heart to empower and inspire. And the reason why I'm doing this show is because there's many people that come into our lives that really make a difference. And today I want to honor one special person, Cliona O'Hara, from the CEO and founder of the Napoleon Hill Institute. And the reason why I'm bringing her here is because she is making a difference in people's lives around this world. And to hear her story really not only inspired me, but inspired so many to know that, in life, when we have control of our lives, we can truly achieve great things. And she is one great leader, and I'm going to bring her on stage so that you can meet her. And here she is.
Hello.
Hello, Cliona. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Giovanna. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us today. You have done so much, and today this show is really a show about gratitude, and we are so grateful for all that you have done in the Napoleon Hill Institute. But this didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication and determination to really make an impact in this world. And this is what you're doing. So I want to tell us your story, because I know many of us want to hear it.
Sure. How much time do you have? It's a long story. I'll give you the shorter version of the story. But essentially, I was born and raised in Northern Ireland, in a little city called Derry. Some people know about Derry from Netflix. There's a show called Derry Girls, by the way, which is really funny because it's almost like a camera followed me and my friends around. It's very accurate. So I was born in the north of Ireland, and I was raised by my grandparents. We had very little money. I suppose, we were in poverty, really. If you look back, we were in poverty. Didn't have very much. I was raised by my grandparents, who loved and adored me and my sisters. But it was a tough upbringing in Northern Ireland. It wasn't easy, shall we say. There was a war going on. There were still like remnants of the war over there. And so I grew up, I was very quiet as a little girl. And I didn't feel very loved. My parents weren't around. And I always wondered, why did my parents leave? Why am I not like all the other kids in school? They have a mom and a dad. So I grew up with that kind of childhood. I don't want to say dysfunctional, but I guess you could say it was dysfunctional. But I always had a yearning for more. And I was called the dreamer. My nickname was the dreamer. And so I used to practice at home because I wasn't happy every day. And I would practice at home, and I would just dream, and I would visualize, and I would even go into my closet, and I had this little secret place in my closet upstairs, and I would sit on the shelf. I would climb up, sit on the shelf, and I would take out my crayons or markers, and I would draw pictures on the wall. And now I know what I was doing. I was creating almost like a vision board in my closet.
Amazing.
And so I was the dreamer, Giovanna. I was just dreaming about having a new life, creating this new life. And I had this strong desire. I used to watch cartoons and movies, and I had a desire to move to America. That was my big dream, was to live the American dream.
How old were you then?
When I had that desire, I was probably, I don't know, 7 and up.
Wow. Very
7.
young age. Mm-hmm.
And because over there, we all watched American TV shows.
Yeah.
No, we watched American TV shows. So I made a decision at the age of around 17 that I was going to America. I was going to reunite with my mom. I was going to live with her, and everything was going to be perfect. And I was going to have this a beautiful American dream life. And that's not what happened. So
Reality sets in, right?
reality set in, and I came from Ireland, programmed. The subconscious mind, dictates the results in our life. So I came from Ireland not knowing anything about subconscious mind. Our thoughts create our reality. I didn't know anything about the mind whatsoever. I didn't have goals. I didn't have a desire for money, because where I grew up, it was bad to want money. I was raised Catholic in Northern Ireland. So if you had a desire for money, you were frowned upon, right? Money's bad. Why would you want money? So when I came to New York, that was where I first landed to reunite with my mom. It was a culture shock, complete culture shock for me. I was 18, and I was just running around, and big heart, and I was just lost, no goals, no desire, no direction, and things didn't go as planned. So for about 7 years, I drifted. And drifting is when someone doesn't have a goal. Drifting is when you have no desire, you have no direction in your life, and you're not in control of your thoughts or your life. And so I was drifting. I was drifting for a long time, and I blamed everybody in the world for my circumstances. And then I had what I call my spiritual awakening. And that was at the age, so from the age of 18 to 27, it was an up and down roller coaster of drifting and all sorts of trouble I got myself into. But at the age of 27 is when I had my awakening. And I got on my knees and I prayed to God. I said, God, help me, because I had no money. And I was getting evicted from my apartment in Brooklyn. I had no food. It was the first time in my life that I actually felt hunger as an adult and didn't have food, right? And I remember going around in Brooklyn to different offices where they had waiting rooms. There were attorney offices, and they would have, like cookies and things.
Leftovers from the meetings.
Yeah. Or they would leave things out, candies and stuff for their guests. And I would take them and I would bring them and I would eat them, because that's all I had. And I was so ashamed, Giovanna. I was so ashamed of myself. Here I am. I left Ireland. And at that time, I didn't even have my green card yet. I was waiting for it. And I was so ashamed. I did not want to go back to Ireland and quit and be a failure. I was so ashamed. I didn't want to tell anybody what I was going through. And I got on my knees this one night around the age of 27, and I surrendered. I was hungry. I was broke. I was broken. I was lost. I was in pain. I had just got out of a very abusive relationship. And I just said, God, please help me. Tell me what to do. And I'll never forget. And I tapped into my intuition. Now I know it's intuition. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing. But I heard very clearly, Cliona, go serve. Go serve.
Yes.
And I was thinking, what does that mean? Go serve. I have nothing to give. I have no food. I have nothing. What am I going to serve? And these words kept haunting me. Go serve. Go serve. And I said, what does this mean? So I started Googling and researching service in my area. And I found a little volunteer job in the local church it was called the Bread of Life. And they had a soup kitchen in the church. So I got all dressed up. I went there and I volunteered, and I started giving my service at this church. Actually, a week before I started serving, the most important part is I went out for a dinner in New York. I was invited to dinner with a bunch of friends who didn't know my situation. They didn't even know I didn't have money for the train to get back home. But I put my best foot forward. I put my dress on. I put my makeup on. I didn't tell anybody. And these guys were inviting us out to dinner. I didn't have to pay for the dinner because when you're a young, good-looking girl in New York, you would get invited to things, right?
Yeah.
And so I went to dinner, and outside the restaurant, the bathroom, I found the movie The Secret. It was on a DVD.
Wow.
It was on a DVD disc, and it was called The Secret. And somebody had wrote with a Sharpie, Secret. And I looked down and I said, that's for me. I don't know what that is, but that must be for me. I took it home and I started watching it over and over and over. And that's when I was introduced to the law of attraction, Bob Proctor, Michael Beckwith, Joe Vitale, and all these.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right? So
what a beautiful documentary.
It opened my mind to that our thoughts create our reality. And I never heard of such a thing.
Likewise.
Right? Like no one taught us this in school. And I said, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to do what they tell me to do. And that's when I started serving at the church and volunteering. And then within weeks, I think it was 3 weeks, I manifested the $27,000 in tax return checks that I didn't even know about. My mother had put my name on one of her businesses as a small percentage partner. Yeah. And I was getting all this money, and it all came at once, 27,000 from 0 to 27,000.
Amazing.
It was like it came out of the sky.
You talked about surrendering, right? And that's what you did. You surrendered.
Yes.
And you went in and had the faith that everything was going to be okay.
Yes. I stopped listening to the outside.
Yes.
And I started, because the outside's wasn't working for me.
Right.
And I started going inside, and now I understand the mind. I've been studying this for 18 years now. And I think it's around 18 years, whenever The Secret came out. But I just started studying every day, Giovanna, and things just got better and better and better. I started a little business, a little call center, and I still was asking God, tell me what to do. What am I supposed to be doing? What line of work should I be doing? I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So I opened a customer service center.
Wow. Because serve, right? You added the two together. I have to serve, right? So
I thought I was supposed to own a call center, customer service center.
Wow.
And I took the money, the 27,000, and that's what I did. And I built a little business, and it started growing. We had 1 employee, we had 5 employees, 10 employees, 20, 30, 45, and it was growing and it was growing. But it didn't happen overnight. This took time. But what was happening was I was growing. My awareness was growing because I was studying every day. I was doing the work. I was studying everything I could get my hands on in personal development. And then my business started taking off, and I was in love with the material, and I was in love with my actual staff, training my staff in personal development. I look back now, I was looking at pictures on Facebook from when I started my little call center. Mm-hmm. I would hold personal development coaching groups, like classes
for training.
Yes, back then. And little did I know where my journey was about to go, right?
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the big transformation. And then I sold everything. I made my first $1 million from nothing to my first $1 million. And I said, okay, now what? I've got all this money. I don't like customer service call center. What is it I'm supposed to be doing, God? Tell me. And then one day I was studying, because I studied every day. One day I was watching a video with Bob Proctor, and the lights went on.
Yeah.
And I looked at Bob and I said, oh my God, I'm supposed to be doing what you're doing. And that's when I realized I was supposed to be a coach. I was supposed to be in this field. And then I manifested, I became a coach with him. And then I think it was only 6 months, I became one of his senior sales team and senior inner coaches in his team. Within 6 months, I just skyrocketed. And then 1 year after I joined his team internally and started working with him, then I started doing really, really well. And they promoted me to a vice president of sales and inner circle coaching. So it was just this trajectory of manifesting working with Bob after watching The Secret.
But let's talk about the hard work and dedication and commitment that you had to make to yourself and to studying. And you had to be disciplined. All these things that we're learning that Napoleon Hill has in his book, you actually applied all those, and probably you didn't even know you were applying it, all the principles.
Yeah.
In order to climb and be at that, in a short period of time, to be that successful in a company, you had to be laser focused.
Yes, there were 2 secret ingredients now when I look back. And now I know the principles and I can study, which principle did I apply and when. I know how to tell. The 2 principles that I was great at applying was I had a burning desire.
That's right.
I had a burning desire. That, and then number 2 is my faith, because God saved my life. And, I get a little bit emotional when I think about it. God saved my life. How could I not have faith? From where I came from to where I am today, I know it's the power of God. I know there's a higher power. You can't deny it. But my burning desire was, well, number 1, I was sick and tired of being a nobody. I thought I was a nobody at the time. I had no education. I didn't go to college. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. And I was just really sick and tired of not really making something of myself, And when I joined Bob and I fell in love with this material, I said, I'm supposed to do this in a big way. I'm going to be one of the best in the world. I'm going to be one of the best coaches in the world. And I created a burning desire to help people. And my why, I figured out my why. If I don't share this, what was given to me, then I've wasted my life here on earth. So I made a committed decision, created a burning desire with faith that I need to do this in the biggest way possible, because I know there's a better way to live. When you understand the mind, you understand how our thoughts work and the subconscious. So that's what I did, Giovanna. I created a burning desire with faith.
I'm going to share some messages that we're getting on Facebook. Ahmed says, let's see if it comes on. Thoughts are things and dreams are made of the same substance, always moving from spirit to form.
That's it. It's from spirit to physical. That's right. That's right.
So beautiful. And Gary says, from classes to master coach to teacher to speaker. What a great ladder to climb, right?
Yes.
Because this is what happens when you start to study yourself. You become a better version of yourself. And you want to do more. You want to give more. Right?
Yes.
And Lucas says, I love your story, Cliona.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Ahmed. I love you guys. A crayon vision board making big dreams.
I love that, Gary. So, yes, we're going to take a short commercial break and we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about what does drifter mean? Because you said, you were drifting when you came, and until you buckled down and really made a committed decision that you weren't going to live this life anymore, that you want to create your life and be the, the architect of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're going to talk about that because, I'm sure a lot of people with no goals are drifting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would just help out the audience to know, like, what did you do in your life to get where you are today?
Sure. Yes, I'm happy to share.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people that we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
What a beautiful commercial. I can't help to like where my heart just, the gratitude for you and Napoleon Hill to put this work together to share with people. It's just changing lives.
Yes.
Changing lives.
Yes.
And, let's talk about drifting a little bit, Cliona, because, I believe Bob said there's only 3% that have goals. And then out of that 3%, there's only 3% that actually follow their dreams and stick to their goals and become, committed to them so they can have a better life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would agree. I would agree. Yeah.
We mentioned before, you said the subconscious mind, the beliefs, kind of really control our life unless we understand and do the inner work to know what, the mind we can't see. And some people think the mind is the brain, and the mind is not the brain because the brain is matter and the mind is just energy. And thoughts are things, thoughts are energy. And, all the teachings and all the learnings that we embrace from Bob to Earl Nightingale to Napoleon Hill truly helps us to do the inner work, to learn how we can tap into our true potential. And when we're drifting, we don't see that. We're living in a lot of worry, fear, stress, anxiety. And that is because we don't understand. We're not doing the work. But when we do the work, we see the results. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very passionate about teaching people how to stop drifting. Like that, I guess you could say that's what we do. What do you do at Napoleon Hill Institute? We turn drifters into leaders, literally.
Absolutely.
And as you know, like if they do what we say and they study the way we recommend, they will have transformations within 3 months. So a drifter is someone who has no purpose. They don't know their purpose. They have no goals. And they're drifting through life and they're letting circumstance and the outside control their destiny. Even and their thoughts. Drifters are people who have no control over their thoughts, or they think they have no control over their thoughts. And most of our thoughts, they come from different places. They can come from the ether. They can come from other people, believe it or not. And then our subconscious mind as well. This is when we study through repetition of study.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the principles that Napoleon Hill talks about is auto-suggestion. We start to reprogram and repattern our minds. We start to reprogram our subconscious mind, because our subconscious mind is responsible for over 95% of our results. And that's why so many people are drifting, because they don't know this. Right. No one taught us this in school. So it's really not their fault. They're not aware. Just like I wasn't aware when I came to New York. I remember people say, "What are your goals?" I'm like, "Goals? That's for those people." That was like, I had no goals. I had no desires. I was just going wherever the wind would take me. I was just floating around out there.
And I say, I went to school for a long time, right? I gained 2 master's degree. I did a lot of studying. Never did I come across this information about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and how we deal with thoughts and how thoughts become things, until I hit rock bottom myself, with my health. And like you said, I surrender, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? When you start asking the why, and the answer is why not, that there's need to be change in your life.
That's right.
And that's what I did. I promise, give me a chance to have another chance at life, and I will figure out what I need to do and change. I promise. And here I am. I found out my why. My why is to serve. And when I made that commitment, the people came to me, and you're one of those people that came into my life to help me become the better version of myself. So you're so right. It's learning, because we're not aware. There's learning and there's awareness.
Yes.
Yes. And there's a big difference between the two. And it just totally transforms your life when you learn this material.
Yes. I feel like it's a purification process, right?
Yes.
Because I have no degrees. I didn't go to college. I barely made it out of high school. But how is it that I earn more money and have, and that, I'm not saying that to impress anybody, because it really doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, how is it that I have no degrees? I didn't go to college, but I earn more than most people in the world, right? On average. Doctors, lawyers, you name it, like that went to school for all those years, all that specialized knowledge. How is it possible? It's because I studied the mind, and I studied the principles of success, which Napoleon Hill is the founding father. Bob Proctor, my late mentor, was studying Napoleon Hill every single day, Think and Grow Rich, every day. And so what I noticed is I stopped being a drifter. I didn't even realize what I was doing by studying every day, watching that movie over every day, reading that book over every day. I was like, I was turning into a non-drifter without realizing it, right? And then I had goals. And so most of the world, even if you have a goal, over 90% don't have it written out. Haven't got their goals written down.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I have a goal. I want a house one day. But they're not specific. Where's the house? Tell us, where is it? What street is it on? Is it by the water? Is it in the mountains? They're not specific.
So you know why? And I'm sorry to interrupt. It's because we are taught that we must see it first and then believe it. And I'm here to say that is absolutely incorrect. We must believe in ourselves that we can have it. It's ours, and then you get to work and it'll become yours, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And it's in that order.
That's
Okay.
right.
And it's in the book Think and Grow Rich, the original book. And this is what we studied, and it's completely changed my life, and it will change everybody's life. So a drifter is someone who is lost, essentially. And it's actually very dangerous to be a drifter, because if you don't catch it and you don't do something about it, this is why so many people they have anxiety, which
Depression.
turns to depression. As you know, they're running around in fear, depression, and then they turn to addiction and alcoholism and all sorts of things. And before you know it, even if you're in the local emergency room, you'll see those people started as drifters, the people that are in there for, drug addiction and all that. They started as a drifter.
One of the biggest things that I studied that's so important is just having, like you said at the beginning, faith, right? We can't have several thoughts at once. We can't be in faith or fear at the same time. So when we don't have goals, we're living essentially in fear and worry and doubt because we don't know what's next. So it's almost like we have no control of what's going to happen to us. But when you do have a goal, you do have a vision, you go after that, and no matter what's going on outside of you, you believe that it's going to happen, because that goal is going to make you a better person, and you're providing service to others. There's no way that goal cannot, if it's a true, authentic goal coming from your heart,
Yes.
you'll have everything you need to succeed. You must believe, like we said, but you can't be in fear, because fear is doubting. And when you doubt something, you're not believing. Right?
Yes.
So it's so beautiful to know that there is something available to help people reconstruct their thinking, to study themselves and opening up a whole new world. And this is kind of like what we do as coaches at Napoleon Hill, is to help people see that there's a whole side of a universe that we don't know, because we're not aware. So it's so good that, I'm so glad that you're here, because this is, your story. I'm sure people can relate. My story, again, I had to give it to God to say, show me what you wanted, where you want me. You gave me a second chance at life. So guide me. And I know the ultimate, most fulfilling job you could ever have is to help people stop drifting.
Yes.
Drifting. Go ahead.
No, the first step is to get a goal, to get off the drifting path. Very important.
And, I like to just point out that I know a lot of people decide they want to make $1 million. That's my goal. In 2024, my goal is to make $1 million. Well, you can't make $1 million if you don't describe what you're going to do to make that $1 million, right? Who are you serving? Because $1 million you can make. What's more important is, what are you doing to achieve? Who are you serving to achieve that $1 million?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
what are you giving? What are you giving?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Money is a direct reflection of what you're serving and giving. Yes.
And money is an exchange of service. Right. So for the audience listening, think about your goals as we go into next year. You can achieve your goals, but what are you giving? Who are you helping? So that is such a big thing, because this is what we do at Napoleon Hill Institute is help people see that vision, what they can give, what they love. And the other big thing that we do is is help people find their gifts, because everyone has their gifts.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't know that they have these gifts because they are drifting. That is the biggest thing, because their gifts are meant to be shared. Like I found my gift, you found your gift, and we are sharing it with the world. And it is the most satisfying, fulfilling, inner satisfaction that I can ever say, that all the jobs I've had in my life, this is the one that just takes me away, blows me away, because I can talk and help someone and not worry about what time is it? Where do we have to go? You're so focused in helping other souls just shine.
Yeah.
And it is the biggest and gratifying job that I have. I know for sure. It's not even a job. It's fun. It's fun.
Job. I don't. Yeah.
It's totally fun. We're going to take a quick commercial break, 2 seconds, and then we're going to come back. I know we have a nice event, a big event coming up next week. And I really want to talk about it, because a lot of people just want to live a life of freedom, of peace. And it's really surrounded by money. They want to make a lot of money so they can have a life that is just more enjoyable. Right? So we're going to talk about this event that's coming up, because I think it truly will help them see, what we're learning here at Napoleon Hill, and also what other people are saying about, how do we create a life that is prosperous, right?
Yes.
So with that. Alrighty.
Okay. That was a quick break.
Yeah, that was a very quick one. So with this event that's coming up, I'm going to play a quick video, and then we can talk about this event a little bit in depth.
What is it that you desire more than anything? What is it that you really want? What is the formula for overflowing abundance? As the sun rises over New York City, the cityscape is bathed in a golden glow. The Gilded Age was a time of unprecedented wealth and opulence, as the elite built towering skyscrapers and ornate mansions that were the envy of the world. Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest men of his generation, would one day meet a young man named Napoleon Hill, who went on to become one of the most influential thinkers of the era and author of Think and Grow Rich, Changing the World Forever.
Here's Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike, what is your message?
I have retranslated that portion of the Bible that says the love of money is the root of all evil to read the lack of money is the root of all evil.
I'll ask you each this question, beginning with you, Reverend Ike. How is it that man can have the healing power?
I teach each person that the presence of God, the presence of good, whatever you call God, is within you.
Somewhere out there, watching on television right now, there's a man, there's a woman, there's a boy, there's a girl listening to me. And we're here to tell you today that if you believe, God will work a miracle for you.
The Prosperity Summit will be the catalyst for the achievement and earned riches you've been waiting for. Learn from the masters and expect abundance.
That's amazing. Amazing of all those people that are coming to the summit.
Yes. Yes.
Let's go ahead. Let's talk about that.
Yes, it's going to be incredible. I mean, just before I came on here, I was talking with Mark Victor Hansen, who was a co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yeah.
He sold over 500 million, 500 million books worldwide. So I was on the phone with him, and then I was on a call with Dr. Michael Beckwith from The Secret. Now, remember my story. How did my whole journey start? Now, I did not write down that I was going to be working with these people. I did not write down that I was going to be working with Bob Proctor, but I had a vision, just like we said, Giovanna, I had a vision that I wanted to serve in a big way through personal development. So next week's event will be the biggest event of 2023 for sure. And it's called the Prosperity Summit. Prosperity, yes, money is part of prosperity, but so is love. We have experts on love coming on. We have spiritual experts. We have authors, speakers, entrepreneurs, 8-figure, 9-figure business owners. We have Sharon Lecter. We have such an incredible lineup that I feel like we're just so blessed. God has blessed us at the Napoleon Hill Institute. We're attracting, and not just, you're going to learn so much next week. It starts on the 28th, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything for 4 days of training. We're going to give it to you, and we're going to give you everything. But what I love is the speakers, Giovanna, the speakers that I'm getting to know.
Sharing their wisdom. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We're so blessed. We're so blessed.
But you know what the common thread is with these people? Okay, these are people that I looked up to and I admire, and I was a little girl going, wow, look at these people. Now we're sitting at the table, right? But the common thread is they're all focused on serving. Do you see a pattern here?
Yeah.
It's like we become aware of our gifts and our talents.
Yes.
And we become aware we're here to serve our gifts and our talents, period. That's all we're doing here on earth, is to serve. And that's why they're so incredibly successful. But next week, we're going to go deeper. You're going to learn about Reverend Ike. He was a prosperity teacher. You're going to learn, obviously, Napoleon Hill's principles. And then you're going to hear how all of these speakers applied it and changed their life. Some of them have, really powerful stories.
Some of them came from exactly where we're coming from.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's amazing when they took control of their mind and had a big why and a vision. Mm-hmm. They became unstoppable.
And they stopped drifting. First they stopped drifting. And then they got a burning desire, and then they apply the principles. You'll see. It's a formula. It's not a guesswork. There's a formula to success. And success is not just money. Most people actually don't want $1 million. They think they want $1 million. It's the freedom they're searching for. It's the freedom.
Think and Grow Rich, some people automatically would think, oh, Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, right. Think and Grow Rich. Like, well, make a smarty thing like, yeah, I want to see if I can think and grow rich. They don't understand that there is a formula in this book. We do teach a formula. And again, rich, there's many forms of riches. It's not just rich in dollars. Right? You need to be rich in your health, number one. Rich in your, you're being rich with your confidence, being rich with all your inner attributes first. Before you, in fact, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, being rich, financially rich, is probably the last rich. The last of the riches.
On the riches. That's right. There's 12 riches, and the last on the list is money, believe it or not. Yes. Yeah. So I can read to you the riches, the 12 riches. And so at the Prosperity Summit, this is what you should expect, is to focus on getting rich, not just money, but there's 12 riches in life. One is a positive mental attitude. Why? Because you've now changed your programming. Your thoughts are now positive. Like attracts like. So 2 is sound health, like you said, Giovanna. Yes. Harmony, number 3, harmony in relationships. 4, freedom from fear.
That's right.
5, the hope of achievement. 6, the capacity of faith, which we love. 7 is a willingness to share blessings. 8 is a labor of love of your own choice. It's my favorite, actually. 9, an open mind in all aspects. 10, self-discipline. 11, capacity to understand people. And 12, money. So that's the more modern version of the 12 riches.
So beautiful, so beautiful. I'm going to take some more remarks because your fans just love you. So this is Cynthia. She says, my favorite quote from Napoleon Hill: surround yourself with people who have the ability to help you achieve your goals. Thank you, Cliona, for bringing that person and providing the community at the Napoleon Hill Institute to help me and so many others. Love you, Cliona.
I love you too, Cynthia. Cynthia has a heart of gold. This woman.
She does. Yes, Gary. Your spiritual DNA is perfect, and that perfection is within you. Beginning each day looking for areas of life to see that perfection expressed habitually, and focusing on those as best as you can leads to great belief in action, which leads to goal achievement and ultimately happiness and peace of mind. Beautiful to be learning these principles and so many more. I totally agree with you, Gary, 100%.
Yes, you can't help when you start studying this material at the level that we have, and Gary and even Cynthia, they're all studying this material. Look at the way they think. Look at the way they speak. And
absolutely.
Yes, Gary, you're absolutely right. Freedom. Yes, Benjamin, freedom.
That's it. When Cliona first mentioned God was in her work, I knew I was in the right place. I love this work as well. Cliona is a servant leader and teaches the principles well. We all have infinite worth, and we are meant to live abundant lives and share these true principles with the rest of our fellow brothers and sisters. Thank you, Cliona, sending your gratitude this Thanksgiving. Totally amazing. My heart is just pouring out. So heavy right now. And Benjamin says, lack of money is the root of all evil.
Yes, it is. Because who can you help if you're sitting in poverty? Tell me, who can you help? And I would love to get up on a stage with a big mega microphone, especially all over Ireland. And I would say this over and over and over. You are wrong. Money is not evil.
That's right.
How dare we believe that? When I believed that, I ended up homeless almost, in an abusive relationship. I was lost and broken because I had that belief in my subconscious.
Amazing.
We need money to survive. We need money, and we can't help anyone if we don't have any.
That's right. And Ahmed says, Bob always said, you'll be surprised how much free time you'll have when you never have to think about money.
Yes.
So true. So Cliona, one more message here. And every adversity carries a seed of equivalent or greater benefit. Absolutely 100% true, Lisa.
Yes.
Because adversity, when you defeat adversity, you found your true self. You will see that you will be rewarded for that adversity. For all that hard work and what you've been through, there's always a greater seed of benefit.
Yes.
This was amazing. I want to take this opportunity, Cliona, like I said, this show is to honor you for the work that you do. And we at Napoleon Hill truly love you. And we know the commitment that you have made. And you're creating leaders, and you're creating a humongous impact in this world. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you
Thank you.
something very special. Here we go. Cliona, just want to say thank you so much for all you do. You've made me the best version of myself, and I am so deeply grateful for you.
Thank you so much for all that you're doing. You literally saved my life. You did so much for me. You changed my life, and you are an amazing woman. Dank je veel.
Cliona, my life is so blessed to be immersed with you and all these other fine people in this incredible organization that you created from your heart. And I am forever grateful. Dziękuję.
Hey Cliona, thank you so much for what you have created. I'm so grateful that you are the perfect lead by example every day, and I'm really just so grateful. Every day my life is changing thanks to you. Tusind tak on Danish.
Cliona, the first time I saw you, you leapt off the screen to me, and I knew I had to be involved with you. Thank you so much for all that you've done and the leadership you've provided. You are a blessing in my life. You're blessing me and my family, and I'm becoming a better version of me. Thank you, Cliona. I love you.
Cliona, the first time you called and asked me to make the decision, I knew it was the right time, the right place, and the right person to work with. You've been a blessing in my life, helping me every day become a better version of myself. And I look forward to the future of our lives, all of us together. Thank you.
Hey, Cliona, it's Gary. Just wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and just thank you for everything you've done, the leadership, the inventing and coming up with the idea of the Napoleon Hill Institute has just been fabulous. Can't wait to see what we build next and how big and fast we make this grow. Just so grateful that you chose to do this, and so grateful that all of us had an opportunity to join in and do our own little bit. Thank you. We love you. God bless.
Hey, Cliona, I want to thank you for your leadership, your courage, your unwavering faith. And I sincerely want to thank you because you filled in that missing puzzle that I needed when you came on a call one day and you said, "We are with God." That was all I needed to hear. I truly appreciate you with everything that you're doing. I believe that God has lifted you in order that we may all lift each other and to lift societies around the world. And in my own language, I want to tell you thank you by saying, Kheli Mamnoon.
Thanks, Cliona, for being who you are, for founding the Napoleon Hill Institute, for having the vision. You're creating not only an impact on all of us that are here thanking you today, but all the other coaches and training ambassadors. And this is just the beginning. It's the ripple effect. You are amazing. Thanks again in my language. Gracias, Cliona. Te queremos. And thank you so much.
I just wanted to thank you for everything you've done. I really appreciate you. I'm so happy to be part of this. And, I joined with the self-confidence camp, and that's really changed the direction of my life. And it seems everyone you meet, you change them and change their lives. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Hartelijk bedankt and merci.
Hi, Cliona. I can't tell you how grateful I am that you came into my life. You have already impacted me and are changing me every day for the better. And I love you, and I love your leadership and everything that you do. And I love that I can call you a true friend. Thank you.
Hello, Cliona. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you also for letting me grow, being part of this movement. And thank you for having created this wonderful Napoleon Hill Institute and leading it to successful path and beautiful future for each and every one you've attracted with you. Dankeschön, Cliona. Du bist ein wunderbarer Mensch. Wir lieben dich alle.
Hi, Cliona. I'd like to express my gratitude to you for listening to your hunch to create this community and for us to be supported and to find our other self, to live to our fullest potential. Your efforts are extraordinary. Your persistence is very clear. Your heart and passion is there, and I'm proud to be part of the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
creating
creating
the Napoleon Hill Institute.
Love
We
you.
love you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Have a great
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Isn't that lovely?
Oh my God. This was so incredible. I did not expect this.
No,
I'm sitting here crying. I'm laughing. I'm crying. I'm laughing. I'm like,
well, you know, we all love you so much. You're such a great leader, and you have a heart of gold. It's pure, it's genuine, and
Thank
we know that you are making a big difference in many people's lives. So we are so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Really, thank you.
It means a lot to me. Sorry, I didn't expect to.
It was just a little surprise. But, you know,
It
again,
means the world to me. You know, this is confirmation for me to keep going, keep getting bigger. Let's go help more people. And with you and all our other coaches, we can really make a big change in the world.
we thank you so much for all you do. We love you.
Love
and
you.
everyone, thank you for joining us. Please go to my website, Sparking Change Now. There is all the information with the event, and sign up. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Thank you, Cliona, for joining us today. And thank you, everyone, for your support and watching the show. And hope to see you soon. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.